What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Before I get into this video, shout out to all of you, all the subscribers. Uh, Yesterday was fun. I really did. I had fun yesterday. You know what? Yesterday's video, I have to say, was probably my most controversial video. The reason I say that is because I love controversy. So I brought up a topic that I felt was going to create some controversy because I knew the fan base would be split between Julian and Ava, Sonny, Jason. I knew it would be split. I had a feeling on that. And I had fun with it because you know what? I love a good debate. You know what I mean? I love a good debate. It's always fun, to go back and forth because I love that we all don't agree on everything. We agree to disagree. You know what I mean? Like I love it. But when I debate with people, I love to bring up the facts. That's all I bring up is what we seen and what we heard. You know what I mean? So it's like when people reply to it, they come up with some make believe, that we didn't see. I'm like, we ain't watched that. But it's fun though. I love it. Um so also I listened to Steve Burton and Bradford Anderson's podcast yesterday. So Steve basically talked about how Maurice Bernard has a lot of dialogue. That's why he's in so many episodes, because that was what the script called for. Because he had basically like a whole bunch of pages of dialogue. He had a whole bunch of scenes. That's why we're seeing him so much. Because basically we're getting the climax of this whole Charlie Delaney body under the pub storyline. That's why it's so heavy handed right now, because that's the main storyline that the writers are focusing on. They're focusing on everybody else, but this is the big one out of all of them, pretty much. That's why it's getting so much airtime. Um, but anyway, I still don't agree with it because I feel like all storylines should get equal airtime, but I digress. Um, so we finally got confirmation. The body under the pub is Vincent Moreno. He's D.A. Dawson's father, of course, which a lot of us already knew. Even if they didn't confirm it until today, we all had our suspicions and we knew it. D.A. Dawson, I'm telling you, once again, this trick is like a dog with a bone. Like, she is coming after anybody associated with Corinthos Morgan. Anybody. She's coming at them. Now she sees Sam. Now she sits at the bar next to Sam, pumping Sam for information. I'm thinking in my head, like, how stupid do you think Sam is? You're the DA. You really think she's going to tell you anything about Julian, anything about Sonny, anything about Jason? She's not telling you shit. And mind you, she don't have no information useful to tell you about Julian. She doesn't fuck with Julian. So what could she possibly tell you about her father? All his crimes are pretty much out in the open. It's all public record. So it's like, what more information do you want? She knows nothing about Julian from 30 years ago. She just found out 5 years ago Julian was her father. So up until 5 years ago, she knows nothing about his past that can help you. Because basically, Jordan and D.A. Dawson are pretty much trying to figure this whole case out. They're trying to find out who killed her father. From what we heard, Joe Scully was the one that pulled the trigger. From what I heard, I believe that's the original story that Sonny told. He said Joe Scully killed the guy or had the guy killed, and Sonny just buried the body. So my guess is whoever killed your father is probably dead by this point. If it was Joe Scully, then Joe Scully's dead. So that wraps up that mystery. If Sonny goes to prison, the most he's going to prison for is a cover-up, accessory to murder. That's the only thing they can charge him with if they find proof. That's the only thing they can really charge him with is accessory, because Sonny didn't kill the guy. And I don't believe Mike killed the guy. So that's all you can charge him with is accessory to a crime, accessory to murder. So now they're just pulling up all these, scenarios. What if Mike killed the guy as, repayment for his gambling debts or whatever to Joe Scully? They're just jumping out a bunch of scenarios. And then, they know Julian Jerome was in Port Charles 30 years ago. I'm like, yeah, Julian was in Port Charles. He wasn't in Brooklyn. The guy was killed. Well, there was a shootout in Brooklyn or whatever. There was a shooting in Brooklyn. You can't tie Julian to that shooting. I mean, Julian did live in Port Charles 30 years ago, but he still had no idea about Charlie Delaney. I don't even think Julian knew Charlie Delaney back then. Even though he lived in town, he still didn't know the guy. Um, so yeah, they're just pulling, possibilities, and that's what any investigator does. But I do agree with Jordan. Any information they get out of um, Mike, it's not going to be useful in court because the man has Alzheimer's. That's public knowledge. It's public record. So anything you ask him and he tells you, you can't use it. And for me, I feel like Mike, even if they get evidence that Mike did kill this guy or they tie him to the body somehow, Mike ain't going to prison. I've said it before. The man got Alzheimer's. He's old. You really think a judge gonna sentence him to prison? It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen in a billion years. It ain't gonna happen. Mike gonna walk on this. Sonny's gonna walk on this. Jason gonna walk. Well, shit, Jason ain't got nothing to do with none of this. Like that's the one thing about Jason. His hands is clean on this one. He ain't got nothing to do with it. Um, and that's what he was trying to tell Sam. He was like, "Shit, I ain't got nothing to do with it this time." But, Sam was basically telling Jason, like, he already spends time with Danny off screen, I guess. And he needs to spend more time with Danny. Jason's not too worried about it because he felt like ain't nothing going to happen. I had to agree with Sam on that. He's confident that, oh, nothing's going to take me away from Danny. Jason, you do remember 6 years ago you were taken away from them before. Remember? Faison shot you in the back. You've been missing for 5 years. I'm just saying. Next time, if something like that happened again, your ass might not be so lucky. I'm just saying. If you get shot and thrown into the harbor again, you will be literally sleeping with the fishes this time. There will be no Helena or Victor Cassadine to fish you out of the water. I'm just saying. You were lucky last time. You might not be so lucky. Um, I'm just saying. It's just a fact. Um, And she was basically telling him that he need to be there for Drew. She wouldn't tell him why, but she just was like, you need to be there for Drew. It's about time Jason and Drew nip this in the bud. They need to. Um, Jason and Drew definitely need to nip this issues that they have with each other. They need to knock it off because it's time for people to start having family relationships on this show again. Jason already went through a bad, relationship with AJ. At least you can have another brother this time where it can be a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave all that negativity somewhere else. Because it's fucked up how many years Sonny and Rick wasted hating each other, and AJ and Jason wasted so many years going up against each other. Um, this time, hopefully things can be different for Drew and Jason. Hopefully. But I do feel like Jason kind of does need to be there for Drew, even though they're not close and they kind of don't like each other. Just be there. You know what I mean? Even if he don't want you to. It might go a long way in him, the two of them turning a corner. It might go a long way. But I am happy though that Drew has somebody to confide in. Even if it is Franco. Um, because sometimes, speaking to somebody unlikely, a person that you normally wouldn't go to, that could be a good thing for you. And that conversation kind of helped Drew. It made him realize some shit, basically, that he needs to tell his son this information right now before he hears it from somebody else. Too late. Elizabeth running her funky mouth. I will say this though. I agree with Elizabeth that Kim needs to tell Oscar now instead of wait until after his birthday. She do need to wait. I know some people in the comments that said that it's the right thing to make him wait because you don't want him to think about death and lose his life and I totally get that. I get where Kim's coming from. I get where everybody's coming from, but at the same time, you need to pull that band-aid off the wound. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to let him know because you don't know how long he has. You know what I mean? It's best that he knows because it's time, and I agree with Drew. He needs to take control of his life. He needs to know this information. You don't want to wait till it's too late. till the symptoms start getting really worse, because he already collapsed before. You don't know what's going to happen next week, tomorrow, today. It can happen out of nowhere. He needs to know these things, and I'm glad that Drew put his foot down with Kim and basically was like, yo, we need to tell him now. I need to do what's right for my son. I need to tell him now. But it's too damn late. Cameron already done spilt the motherfucking beans. Cameron actually accidentally spilt the beans because they were working volunteering at a community center or something. And Cameron basically spilt the beans by accident because he was under the impression Oscar knew he had cancer. And Cameron was upset because he thought Oscar knew he had cancer and he was lying to Jocelyn about it. You know what I'm saying? So when he mentioned it to Oscar that he had cancer, Oscar had that face like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Oscar was looking at him like, what? So the cat is out of the bag now. It's out in the open. Everybody know what the tea is. And I knew he was gonna find out eventually because too many people knew this information. Franco knew, Drew knew, Sam knew, Elizabeth knew. Unbeknownst to everybody, Cameron knew. Um, when too many people know information, big information, it's bound to come out at some point. It's gonna come out because too many people know. Um, so now they have to deal with the fallout. I'm pretty sure that, like, I'm willing to bet it though. Oscar, he's gonna be pissed because when he figures out that his mother knew about it for so long, a lot of other people knew about it, nobody told him. I have a feeling he's gonna be pissed about it, and I couldn't blame him if he's mad about it. I couldn't blame him because I would want to know if something is wrong with me and I'm definitely sick. I would want to know. You know what I mean? Like, don't keep that from me. That would piss me off. It's just about to be a shitstorm with this storyline. I really hope that he does get a miracle. I really do. I can't see them killing Oscar off because not only have I grown to like this character, he's a fucking Quartermaine, and I'm tired of Quartermaines getting killed off. Like, we need new generation of Quartermaine, and we can't keep killing them off. Because what if, I mean, this show, we don't know how long this show gonna go on, but what if this show does go on for another 50 years? 50 years from now, we're not gonna probably have the Quartermaine family anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they gotta stop killing them off so much. Like, stop. You've depleted this family enough. You know? Killed off too many people. Like, we need to keep what we have. Um, I mean, we still got Maya Ward though. She's a part of the Quartermaines, Brooklyn. At some point, hopefully they'll come back full time. Hopefully. Um, but yeah, it's about to go down with this. So anyway, the whole Chase situation. Chase, Finn, their father. So their father is in town. Finn thought it was an ambush. He was like, oh, so you knew that he was in town. You tried to ambush me with him. Chase ain't no shit. So their father basically is sick. He has a disease. He has a rash and, all type of stuff wrong with him. So that's why he came to see Finn, because Finn specializes in infectious diseases. But here go Finn talking about, oh, I can't treat you because it's unethical. I said, what? Unethical? See, he pulling that Alexis shit. This is, how Alexis always run around town, everybody that try to hire her for representation, she always talking about, oh, it's a conflict of interest, I can't represent you. Finn is doing the same shit, basically talking about treating his father is unethical, it's a conflict. What's unethical about it? Monica is a doctor and she treated some of her relatives. Back when Luke was her brother-in-law, she performed surgery on him, even though she was drunk when she did it. I remember that. She had performed surgery on Luke when Luke had a heart attack, and she was drunk, and Luke almost died, and Tracy tried to file a malpractice lawsuit. That shit was funny. That was like 10 years ago, I think, back like 2008. Because this was right after Alan and Emily died, and she was just started drinking so much. I remember because she ran over Sam. I remember she did a hit and run on Sam. And she was under the influence of alcohol. I remember that. But yeah, I mean, it's not unethical to treat a relative if you're a doctor. That's not unethical. It's all above board. And I agree with Chase. He should help his father. Even though you got issues with your dad, he's still your dad. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he abandoned you. Finn basically abandoned him. But yeah, this episode it was pretty cool for what it was for a cliffhanger Friday. Sonny is a damn fool though. Sonny better not go talk to no Jordan, and he gonna go talk to Jordan and D.A. Dawson by himself because Diane is out of town. So she don't come back until tomorrow. But he talking about, oh, I know how to handle them. I said, Sonny, don't do it. Because I have a feeling he gonna fuck up. He gonna slip up at some point and give them too much information. I'm like, Sonny, don't do it. You setting yourself up for failure. But anyway, this was a pretty solid cliffhanger Friday. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about today's episode. Do not forget to smash that like button. And I will see y'all all Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace.